If you've been around long enough, you know the drill. And if you're new, welcome to the wild world of the XRP community. Here's the pattern. In the last 2 cycles, XRP has made an explosive move, flashing massive green candles that leave jaws on the floor. Then it takes a breather, a sort of 6-month hibernation, before rocketing back up again. But will this cycle break the mold? Personally, I doubt it. Unless, of course, the entire crypto market is somehow out for the count this round. But let's be honest, that seems pretty unlikely, doesn't it? Let me share some insights from a variety of seasoned chart analysts who all seem to agree on one thing. Big moves are coming for Bitcoin. Whether we're on the brink of a breakout where Bitcoin surges and altcoins follow, or if we need a bit more sideways action before that explosive parabolic climb, the consensus is clear. It's not a matter of if, but when. These analysts, many of whom I've followed for years, might debate specific price levels or short-term probabilities. But when it comes to the overall direction, they're surprisingly aligned. And that's what fascinates me. Sure, there's some short-term indecision right now about which path we'll take in the immediate future, but honestly, that's just noise. Big picture, this cycle is shaping up to deliver exactly what we've been waiting for. Before I go any further, let me be crystal clear. I don't have a financial background, and this isn't financial advice. Don't make any investment decisions based on what I say or write. Always do your own research. All right, as I hit record, it's 4:20 IEM Central Time here in the heart of the Midwest USA. The date, Saturday, April 26, 2025. Let's talk XRP. It's sitting at $2.21. And out of nowhere, within the last couple of hours, XRP decided to wake up and make a run on its own. Bitcoin, sleeping. But XRP, it ripped up briefly from $2.18 to $2.25. Before settling back a little, just your regular dose of crypto volatility. Who knows? Maybe by the time this video uploads, something wild will have happened. Speaking of Bitcoin, it's holding steady, barely moving, priced at $94,430, 0 cents. But check this out. The crypto fear and greed index is at 65 out of 100, officially in the greed zone. Remember just a few weeks ago, on April 9th, it was sitting at 18 deep, extreme fear territory. It's wild how fast this market flips. One moment, extreme fear, and now here we are in greed. That's the thing with crypto, it's a pendulum. When we're at one extreme, you can bet sooner or later we'll swing back the other way. So keep your cool, because in this market, nothing stays the same for long. Bitcoin's price is always climbing. So maybe let's not get too worked up about it. It's all part of the ride. Still, it's fascinating to watch these trends unfold. Check this out. On-chain analytics firm Sentiment recently shared some intriguing insights. They noted Bitcoin's unexpected breakout has flipped the crypto community's mood. Optimism is surging as Bitcoin soared past $95,000, 0 cents for the first time since February. And here's the kicker. Social media is buzzing. The current spike in bullish posts versus bearish ones is the highest since election night, November 5th, 2024. What's next? A flat or slightly down weekend could signal retail traders to take profits. If they do, whales might swoop in, buying up coins and potentially driving Bitcoin past $100, 0 cents within the next week or two. Things can shift in the blink of an eye. When it comes to markets, the crowd's balance of greed and fear often dictates the outcome. Will greed push a local top, or can crypto keep breaking away from the S&P 500 as cautious traders cash out early? Keep an eye on the gold bars. They're the signal in all this noise. That's what everyone's talking about here, measuring those gold bars. Fascinating stuff, right? But let's be clear, this isn't about a permanent decoupling from traditional markets, despite what some might hope. It's more about short-term dynamics. The data here is worth a look. It tells a compelling story. So what's next? Honestly, it's anyone's guess. Analysts seem to agree when it comes to the short term, it's a coin toss. But what grabs attention is how many experts are landing on similar conclusions. Here's the deal. When it comes to short-term price action, there's just no clear consensus among analysts. Some have strong opinions, sure, but for the most part, it's a toss-up, flip a coin. And you know what? That's okay. Not every moment in the market comes with a crystal clear path forward, and that's part of the game. Still, I keep a close eye on these patterns because every now and then something rare happens. Analysts align. It's like spotting a unicorn. And wouldn't you know it, one of those moments occurred just last week. Remember leading up to April 22nd, I kept telling you, guys, they're all saying the same thing. And wouldn't you know it, the market pumped just as expected. Now we're in wait and see mode again. But hey, we've been here before, right? Chart analyst Tech Dev certainly seems to think so. He recently shared a post with his 521,000 followers on X comparing this setup to the price of gold, and it's looking interesting. Bitcoin takes center stage in orange with global liquidity trailing below in green. The message? Time to realize you've been here before. The last time global liquidity surged after a breakout retest, gold skyrocketed, and Bitcoin soared an astonishing 500%. This is fascinating because, as they say, history has a habit of rhyming. Take a closer look at the chart and the parallels become crystal clear. Move further down the timeline and you'll notice something intriguing about the last cycle. What happened with gold? It stagnated, mostly flat with minor upticks, but as gold started to slide, Bitcoin took off, rocketing past expectation. Now, think about how many analysts are pointing to the same thing today. They argue gold might be nearing the end of its run, if you could even call it parabolic, it's topping out. And here's the kicker. This aligns perfectly. Gold, often seen as a hedge against inflation and instability, may lose its shine as people sell off. Then risk-on assets like Bitcoin and the stock market tend to rally. At the same time, global liquidity is increasing. Feeling familiar? It's all happening while XRP is flexing more strength than any other coin in the top 100 asset class since the election. Just imagine what's coming next. When things heat up and we hit full throttle, we'll look back and say XRP absolutely dominated. No doubt about it. Take a look at this insight from chart analyst Mustache. On the left, you've got Bitcoin in 2024, and on the right, the entire crypto market in 2025. He's highlighting how Bitcoin broke out of a falling wedge in 2024, and now the entire crypto space seems to be mirroring that move. This is an updated version of his earlier analysis, reinforcing the idea that the market is following Bitcoin's lead. Isn't it amazing how the total market cap mirrors Bitcoin's 2024 structure, he notes? Just think, so much can shift in just a few weeks in this space. I hope you haven't lost faith. It's all starting to come together. The best phase of the cycle is just around the corner, set to unfold in the coming weeks and months. Make the most of it. Oh, I'm more than ready for it. How about you? Even if things drag into the fall, so be it. Some analysts believe we're on the verge of a big shift within the next 2 to 3 months. Who's right? I won't pretend to know for sure. What I do know is I'm sticking around. I'll have my exposure no matter when it hits, and trust me, it's going to hit. My confidence has never been stronger. I wasn't planning to read through this whole post, but I skimmed the top part and it lines up perfectly with what I've been saying here. This is from chart analyst Malleus. Up top, he's got a Bitcoin USD chart and below tethered dominance. But let's focus on Bitcoin. Recently, Malleus pointed out 2 scenarios, and as of now, we're just barely sitting above the supply zone. Still not feeling 100% confident just yet. The breakout seems legit, but I want to see more price action unfold. Bottom line, both are heading toward all-time highs. It's only a matter of time. Honestly, if you're feeling indecisive, that's totally okay. No shade here. That uncertainty is what I keep noticing from everyone, and it's probably a sign to admit we just don't know in the short term. And you know what? That's perfectly fine. Sometimes the charts don't give us enough clarity. And when that happens, the smartest move is to simply say, I don't know. For more insight, check out the latest video from the blockchain backer. It dives into the first signals of an altcoin market rise, bullish divergences, Bitcoin reaching $94,000, 0 cents, and what's next for XRP. He highlighted several Bitcoin metrics that suggest strength is making a comeback. Interestingly, he also brought up SWI, however you prefer to say it, the altcoin that's already reclaimed its January levels. Despite its dramatic drop earlier this year, it quickly soared back up, which isn't unusual in the crypto space. He sees SWI's big move as a potential leading indicator, hinting that other altcoins could follow suit soon. He also noted that the relative strength index, RSI for total 3D crypto market, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, has broken out to the upside. In simple terms, this means strength is returning to all altcoins, including XRP. And here's the kicker. When the RSI breaks out, it can keep climbing into overbought territory for a while. Sure, the market will eventually peak, but it's a powerful sign of momentum in the meantime. All of this ties into his bold prediction for XRP. He's confident the coin is on track for a major breakout this cycle, with a peak price somewhere between $8.00 and $10.00. He's stating his ground on this one. Here's an interesting post from chart analyst Dom. He's pointing out that Bitcoin bulls are back and hungry, showing a level of buying aggression we haven't seen since November. But there's more to the story. Dom predicts a short-term cool down for Bitcoin, suggesting it could dip slightly, maybe around $90,000, 0 cents. He's confident in calling what he sees as the most likely scenario. Now, this potential pullback could bring Bitcoin closer to the $2, 0 cents mark again, similar to what happened recently. But here's the twist. Dom believes XRP could take off to the upside once Bitcoin steadies. In his latest video, he talked about XRP's current price range, mentioning $2.50 previously and now eyeing $2.70. While we might need a bit more patience, he emphasizes that XRP holding above $2, 0 cents is critical. If it dips below, it should only be a minor blip, maybe a quick drop to around $1.90 for a moment before bouncing back. Interestingly, he predicts XRP could peak somewhere between $6, 0 cents and $10, 0 cents this year. Now, he's not making promises, but when pressed on the matter, that was his take. What caught my attention is how close this aligns with the blockchain backer's own expectations, who estimates a range of $8, 0 cents to $10, 0 cents, possibly higher. The similarity is striking. These are some of the most conservative yet intriguing XRP price predictions I've come across from analysts I follow. Those predictions are hovering between $10 and $30, 0 cents, whether it's $15, 0 cents, $18, 0 cents, or even $20, 0 cents to $30, 0 cents. That's the sweet spot where most expectations seem to land. Of course, there are a few outliers, some slightly higher or lower, like Dom and the blockchain backers take. It'll definitely be fascinating to see how this all plays out. Honestly, I have no crystal ball. I'm as curious as you are. But one thing feels certain, the number is likely going up. And when it does, I think there'll be plenty of smiles all around. A lot of people are going to be pretty happy with how this unfolds. Here's an interesting take from Rakesh Upadhyay over at Cointelegraph. He suggests that XRP might rally to $3, 0 cents in the short term. A bold call, but it comes with a catch. He's not entirely sure where things could head next. If XRP breaks below $2, 0 cents, a level tons of analysts have flagged as critical, we might see a drop to $1.60. That said, $1.60 doesn't seem to be on the radar of many experts right now. Meanwhile, chart analyst Cryptos recently posted about a bullish daily close for XRP above the inverse head and shoulders neckline, a pattern he's been tracking for a while now. And just yesterday, Steph is Crypto chimed in, calling out a perfect XRP breakout forming out of a falling wedge. It seems there's no shortage of optimism among analysts, but as always with crypto, the real question is, will XRP deliver or surprise us yet again? Analysts have been buzzing about this, and it seems their predictions are starting to unfold. Over the past few days, we've seen a significant upward move for XRP, edging closer to that double-digit spike in price action. Exciting, right? Here's a post worth noting. Back on April 21st, before the market really took off, this particular chart stood out. It's one of many examples from analysts pointing to the wedge and waiting for that breakout moment. Well, fast forward a few days, and some are now saying it's happening. On April 21st, Captain Fabric, a chart analyst, urged, keep accumulating XRP. The next bullish leg will be explosive. His midterm target, a jaw-dropping $5, 0 cents. Because he's talking about when it finally takes off, and it's right on the verge. So for now, we'll sit tight, stay patient, and see how long this ride takes. The big stuff is behind us. Let's be real, we've already weathered the storm. We've made it through the hardest part. If it takes a few more weeks or months, so be it. We're going to get there. That's the bottom line. I've never been more confident, but hey, I'm not a financial advisor. Don't make moves based on what I say. It'd be a terrible idea.